My business is Gladiator Lacrosse. We sell and manufacture lacrosse equipment. I started this business through a passion of the sport of lacrosse. Started playing in 4th grade and absolutely fell in love with it. As a consumer though, I saw some problems in the market. Current equipment out there had a few problems. Their goals were rusty, the holes were breaking in the nets, the rebounders would rust and tear and be completely destroyed. And so I felt there's got to be a better way. I'm currently a senior at Princeton University. I've been studying there, and as well as being a full-time business owner. I would describe our brand as authentic and high quality at an affordable price point. And Amazon has helped us market that to consumers. When we first started listing on Amazon, we were on like the 10th or 11th page, obviously somewhere I didn't want to be. But over time, the high quality really shone through. And so we moved ourselves up being like one of the highest listed products on Amazon. When the first container of equipment arrived at the warehouse, my mom was like, oh my gosh, what did we let her do? Little did any of us know that I sold out of that first container very quickly, and I would say that was the start of something very huge. I was a little naive when I first started, maybe almost timid to kind of figure out what kind of offerings Amazon had for me. And then once we've kind of peeked into the different offerings Amazon has, I realized, oh, here's 5 or 6 other things that can actually be applicable to my company at really any stage.
I became a professional lacrosse player because of my training techniques and habits. And Gladiator has provided a solution for young lacrosse players to have the ability to fine-tune their game. As you can see, I use all these products at my camps because I believe in it. And I think the relationship between Amazon and Gladiator, I think the possibilities of training products and the growth of the game with the exposure that Amazon can provide, I think the opportunities are really limitless.
When you're a first-time founder and CEO, especially at a young age, you think anything's possible. And so when you think about something like size and scale, like those aren't constraints, especially with Amazon. And so as you continue to grow, they're right there alongside you.
Please welcome back Dharmesh Mehta.
What a great story. I really appreciate Rachel sharing it with us. Rachel Zeitz is proof that a motivated entrepreneur can be an unstoppable force. It shows that a great idea is a great idea at any age. Rachel identified a need, she started her online business, and she built her brand with the pro sports endorsement, and she continues to reach new levels of success with Amazon. That's the name of the game, next level together. Welcome back to day 2 of Amazon Accelerate 2021. I hope you're refreshed and energized to hear more about how you can accelerate your business success and to hear about the investments Amazon is making to support you. Many sellers are already telling us how excited they are to take back what they learned yesterday and apply it to their business. Among the feedback I've received, we heard that you appreciated the transparency from multiple Amazon leaders, including hearing from John Felton on our operations and from Dave Clark on where he's focusing our teams in supporting sellers. We heard that you loved a lot of the news, but that there was a lot to digest and you weren't able to catch everything. Well, don't worry. All the keynotes will be available on demand later this week and all the breakouts by early next week. We heard that you wanted to hear more about support and account health, and I'm glad that's the case because you're going to hear much more about both of those today. You told us that you appreciated that Amazon continues to listen to sellers, not only through our contacts and emails, but also through live engagement at conferences like Accelerate, and even through your tweets. And then I even saw some of you tweeting about how Amazon is listening to your tweets. I hope you all know you can always email or tweet at me or any other Amazonian directly. And finally, you told us that you really enjoyed networking with other sellers in our huddles, but that the slots filled up a bit too fast. And so overnight, we've more than doubled the number of slots available. We will continue to go through your feedback, so please keep it coming. If you liked what you heard yesterday, we've got more of that in store for you today. More exciting announcements, more breakout sessions led by Amazon product experts, and more opportunities for networking and peer learning. And very soon, I will be sitting down with Amazon CEO Andy Jassy for a live fireside chat. But before we get to that, yesterday, you heard about starting your business and building your brand. And so today, we wanted to focus on scaling and growing your business, and then how you're always supported through your journey. We'll begin by talking about new ways that you can grow within your own local community, followed by new ways you can expand globally. To get us started, it's my pleasure to introduce our Director of Local Selling, Pat Bigetel.
Thank you, Dharmesh, and thanks to all of you for attending this year's conference. I'm excited to talk to you today about some new technology that will help you grow your business. Retail innovation is accelerating to meet the needs and the requirements of customers who have more choices than ever before. They have made it clear what they want, when they want it, and where they want it. And you are rising to the occasion, giving these customers convenient access to more products than ever before through online channels that are now a part of your everyday shopping experience. The past year and a half has only accelerated the opportunity for retail innovators. To succeed in this rapidly evolving environment, sellers like you are building interconnectivity across online and offline retail channels. You're using physical assets in new ways, delivering locally to customers near your facilities, and allowing customers to buy online and pick up in your store, all while running a national online shipping business along with traditional retail stores. This is the underpinning of successful omni-channel retail, to have seamless interactions across your online and your offline stores and operations, where customers can make the choice on how, when, and where they'll receive their products. That's why today we're introducing local selling on Amazon. Shipping products over long distances creates limits on what you can sell online. You're challenged with the cost of shipping low-priced, heavier, bulky items, with safeguarding fragile items, or ensuring freshness of perishable items. With local selling, you can now extend beyond a national shipping business while better serving and engaging your local customers near your physical locations with new local delivery and buy online, pick up in store technologies. Your shipping operations can now expand to support specialized or lower cost local delivery methods, and your retail stores can now serve as pickup locations for orders made on Amazon. Before we get into the specifics, let's hear from Bear Henley at Waltz TV, who's been testing the local technologies.
Waltz was started in 1957, and it was originally a repair company who also sold as well. What we do primarily is we sell electronics of all different types and appliances. We install them, sometimes we just deliver them. The process is very easy. We found that the customers come in, they show us their order number. We already have the item pulled because of the system and the way that it works, so it's minutes and they can take it with them. Unfortunately, in a lot of situations, it causes increased sales. They buy other things too. Our employees adapted very quickly and they really like it. We explained to them that we already were doing these great things with Amazon. We saw an opportunity to reconnect with our customers. So we really tried to approach it in a very positive manner, that this would add additional sales and additional opportunities for all of us to engage with our customers. We've always had a retail store and custom installation, and with the local and the Amazon BOPUS, it really ties in. So it's very exciting for us because we can just kind of weave it into our daily operations. We started out a lot smaller. As we've increased the sales through Amazon, it's allowed us to hire more people and scale, but just the exposure and the programs that Amazon has introduced over the years has really helped us scale. The partnership we've had with Amazon has always brought us to new levels. We're excited for the next level to grow together. I just don't think there's anywhere to go but up.
As we just heard from Bear, omni-channel is where it's at. Let's talk about buy online, pick up in store technology first. If you have a retail store or stores, dream of having a retail store, or want to try innovating on new store models, you can now set up product offers on Amazon that will delight customers with same-day pickup. We have localized many of our technologies. First, we've made the discovery of items you list for in-store pickup simple and easy. In-store pickup products are now only available for purchase by customers who are close to your location. We know that speed is important to customers. That's why buy online, pick up in store empowers you to offer same-day pickup. We tested this technology across tens of thousands of orders, and our early partners are excited about the incremental sales and the foot traffic. They're seeing customers from their local communities buy on Amazon and be inside their store location within just an hour or two. So what does buy online, pick up in store look like on Amazon? Customers see an omni-channel buying experience that makes buying on Amazon and picking up in your store easy and intuitive. The product detail page now has a new pickup tab that cleanly differentiates the pickup offers from the delivery offers, making discovery of in-store pickup simple. It's easy for customers to determine the distance to your store location. And if they're beyond a reasonable drive, they simply will not see your pickup offer on the Amazon store. Checkout, it'll be clear and intuitive. Customers will see an exact pickup address and approximately when the order will be ready. After they purchase an item for store pickup, customers will be kept informed of order status and then notified when the order is ready for pickup through Amazon app notifications and through emails. All of us at Amazon are excited to be in the physical retail business with you. You've told us you love FBA, but you also told us you could sell a new range of products on Amazon with local self-delivery. Items that are highly fragile, easily perishable, or items that are just uneconomical to ship across the country. With local delivery, you can list selection only available to customers within a delivery area you define, down to the zip code level. You use your own trucks, vans, or specialty fulfillment vehicles to deliver selection you hadn't previously considered in your national business. Because it's local, you can now make faster 1 to 2 day delivery promises, which will ensure high conversion rates and happy customers. It is important to note that local delivery is an extension of your national program through Amazon. It is not a replacement. When you can ship products nationally, you should. But where you can offer new selection, local delivery is an opportunity to further grow your business. Combining buy online, pick up in store, local delivery, and your national business creates a complete omni-channel program for you. Our local selling team has been hard at work, and they're excited to bring you on the inside. Let's hear from them.
Amazon customers love buy online, pick up in store, and they are responding very great. On an average, the rating that we have received for buy online, pick up in store is 4.4 out of 5 customer rating, and almost more than 90% of customers actually pick up their orders within the same day or next day.
It's really awesome to to provide a tool for sellers that may not be able to do this on their own, and may not be able to invest in a true BOPIS experience, to give them something that's easily investable to help them continue to grow their business in a way that's, for all intents and purposes, table stakes now.
With the Buy Online Pickup in Store program, we're going on to a newer frontier in seller relationships.
What kind of comes in combination with local self-delivery, Buy Online Pickup in Store, And then the traditional national delivery of Amazon, you get to this omni-channel fulfillment experience that means that you can serve Amazon customers however they discover you, and also be able to serve customers in your local neighborhood as well.
But this really just opens up the, why a customer would buy, what a customer wants to buy, and allows them to just get more sales, and also having, for the first time engagement with an Amazon customer that they've never had face-to-face.
What we've learned from sellers about buy online, pickup in store is that it also helps sellers reduce the cost of fulfillment, because buy online, pickup in store literally has zero shipping cost.
Amazon is absolutely interested in helping our selling partners scale and grow.
So this is an excellent way for us to both reach the next level together in partnership, helping each other out.
We will continue building additional local functionality and tools for you. And we're going to rapidly extend to locations outside the United States. We are committed to continuous improvement of these programs, and we are going to want to hear from you. Buy online, pick up in store makes it easy to create growth across your physical stores. Now, all your delivery offers on Amazon can be available for local pickup. Local delivery allows you to extend selection, creating new possibilities for growth. Contact me and my team to start your omni-channel retailing business through Amazon today. Thank you. If you're considering going global, I think you're really going to like the announcements this next presenter has in store. Now I'll turn the stage over to Amazon's Director of International Seller Growth, Sarah Kalefi.
Thanks, Pat, and hello, everybody. I am going to talk about how we help sellers scale and grow with Amazon Global Selling, and I'm excited to announce 4 new products that will make the process easier and more impactful for you. Worldwide, retail e-commerce sales continue to grow. Cross-border e-commerce is also booming. In fact, it is growing at 2.3 times the rate of total e-commerce. This provides great opportunities for sellers who are looking to expand their business to reach more customers around the world. There are a number of key advantages to expanding your business globally with Amazon. Amazon Global Footprint covers 21 stores in over 200 countries, and we support 27 languages. From a logistical standpoint, our shipping and fulfillment network footprints cover 375 million square feet. These global assets are supporting our state-of-the-art logistic network and are available to you regardless of the size of your business. Last month, these 21 Amazon stores brought in over 900 million global visits. In fact, more than half of worldwide traffic comes from Amazon stores outside of the US. Every year, we invest to make the global launch process easier so that more sellers can scale and grow and take their business to the next level. Amazon listened to the voice of sellers. This year, our investments have been focused on the 4 most common themes that sellers said they need help with when expanding globally. Knowing which selections are likely to sell well, being able to streamline the listing process for selling across countries, viewing their inventory across multiple marketplaces on one page, and supporting customers who speak a different language. Today, we are officially launching 4 new innovative products and services that will address those challenges: Marketplace Product Guidance, Global Listing, Global Inventory Viewer, and Customer Service by Amazon. Marketplace Product Guidance helps sellers address these concerns by leveraging our machine learning capabilities and Amazon data. Marketplace Product Guidance helps sellers in 4 important ways. First, it helps sellers identify top products, Second, it guides sellers to product discovery. Third, it provides a guided research tool to help discover the category and product niches on which the seller might be successful. And fourth, it ensures that all recommended products are compliant with local regulations, which results in a reduced time to market and faster return on investment. We have even more tools to add to your global toolkit, including global listings. With our new global listing tools, you can list your product information once and make your selection available across Amazon stores worldwide. You'll no longer have to switch to your various country Seller Central accounts to enter product information for each country you want to sell in. Now, you only have to provide your product information once and select the countries you wish to sell in with just a few clicks. These tools will be available in your native one-by-one or bulk listing experiences. You will be able to set prices for each country to stay competitive with country-level dynamics. Additionally, you can view your global listing in a set of globalized pages and views, including Manage Your Inventory, or MOI, a page in Seller Central. From there, you can edit the product information for all countries and any country-level pricing information you choose. Today, 10% of US FBA sellers operate in more than one marketplace. And as we continue to make it easier to sell across marketplaces, we expect this number to grow. As you continue to scale and grow your business across different marketplaces, you told us that you needed a holistic view of your inventory across marketplaces rather than one marketplace at a time in Seller Central. To address this issue, we created Global Inventory Viewer, a new tool in Seller Central that provides you with a complete global view of your FBA inventory, along with critical near real-time supply and demand data, allowing you to more easily plan your inventory across all marketplaces. My last announcement is Customer Service by Amazon, or CSBA. Sellers have told us that providing customer support during peak sales period and across geography is difficult. And Customer Service by Amazon helps address this problem. CSBA is an optional paid service where Amazon takes care of customer service on your behalf for your MFN orders. We will direct the customer inquiries for MFN orders to Amazon Customer Service so that you do not need to handle them yourself. Customer Service by Amazon has many benefits. First, there is great performance. CSBA high-quality customer service can help you reduce A to Z guarantee claims, order defect rates, and negative reviews. Second, there is live channel support. CSBA supports customers through multiple channels, including phone, instant messaging, and emails. CSBA also offers multi-language capability to help sellers who do not have capabilities to support customers in their preferred language. CSBA is trained representative who can resolve customer inquiries in all marketplace-supported languages. And finally, there is on-demand scalability. CSBA offers professional 24/7 customer service available throughout the year. It can help you remove your customer service burdens by managing customer service in response to changing demands, for example, during the holiday period. CSBA has been available in Japan since 2018, and sellers have great things to say about the program. Enrolling Customer Service by Amazon, and depending on your customer service performance, you may be able to take advantage of CSBA rewards. Specifically, if you provide valid tracking for your orders, automated prepaid return labels, and if you experience a low rate of customer inquiries per unit, you may be eligible to receive free CSBA service. These 4 new products, Marketplace Product Guidance, Global Listing, Global Inventory Viewer, and Customer Service by Amazon, were designed to help sellers more easily and effectively take their business to the next level globally. Our next featured seller has experienced great success in the global marketplace after only 5 years of selling on Amazon. Let's hear their story.
Power Hands started its journey about 6 years ago, and we impact youth to professional athletes across multiple sports and the everyday person in the community like you and I, who's working out from home or back in the gym. Amazon absolutely enables Power Hands to accelerate at a pace that's unmatched. As a business, a hyper-growth small business, it's all about speed to market. And so Amazon helped us accelerate our growth by helping us do the things that we don't do well. We're selling in multiple countries through Amazon, so they've helped us with logistics, globalization, and customer service. Having Amazon as a tech enterprise partner, it is a dream come true. It accelerates our pace faster than we could have ever imagined when we started the company day one.
Please welcome co-founder and CEO of Power Hands, Danielle Serency-Jones.
Thank you, Amazon, for this opportunity to grace your stage. My name is Danielle Serency-Jones, and I am the CEO of Power Hands, the president of the Power to Give Foundation, a wife, a mother of 2 incredible children, one who does think she's Beyonce and a little Selena Gomez, and the other who's painting his own canvas on the autism spectrum. I'm a daughter, a sister, a dreamer, and a doer. Juggling these roles the last 24 months has felt like pushing 10,000 pounds of an obstacle. We've lost loved ones who've been forced to die alone, while families and small businesses faced financial devastation. We've also had to connect our hearts to fight social injustices and political issues that are dividing our country today. So as I think of each of you watching me right now, I am you. And we are in this together, connected by an idea. The idea that our collective innovation, our kitchen concoctions, and our life pain points can evolve into global brands that will absolutely change lives. So why has each of us decided not to quit? Because the vision of what's on the other side of the chaos keeps us going. You see, we are each other's opportunity broker. I repeat, we are each other's opportunity broker. We need each other to create sustainable communities and rebuild a flourishing economy. You see, I've never felt and understood the gut-punching reality of obstacles until I had to rotate my lens from being the rising executive at a Fortune 500 company to the courageous Power Hands entrepreneur with no funding, no privilege, and no blueprint. But our perseverance and brilliance brokered a vision that we are destined to seize. So I want you to just imagine this. What if Jeff Bezos settled for just books? What if Oprah allowed her childhood poverty to limit her possibilities? Well, because they saw opportunities in the obstacles, Jeff and Oprah are absolutely living proof that our greatest ideas are born from our greatest obstacles. So what's underneath the obstacle that keeps them and us inspired every day? It's just thinking differently. That's the root of innovation. Power Hands thought differently about creating products and technology to help improve performance while training. When retailers lacked shelf space for this double minority-owned company, we thought differently about our sales and marketing channels and partnered with Amazon. Instead of fearing all of the unknowns, we decided to embrace it. Then Amazon decided to embrace us. Now we have a thriving sales and marketing strategy with FBA FBM, and Vendor Central, not only serving in the U.S., but globally in Mexico, Canada, Singapore, and the UAE. Thinking differently has expanded our vision to integrate technology, and we are now partnering with AWS to learn how to scale its cloud services to obtain rich data that helps us serve our customers better. If we want to be legendary, then we must show up like a legend. So Amazon, Power Hands, and all the small businesses watching right now, I simply urge us to keep thinking differently, because we can do more. We can no longer operate in our safe silos. Our collective brilliance is the answer. Together, we can be the architect of one of the most beautiful bridges of opportunity that will create a pathway of generational wealth for our great, great grandchildren to stand on. Thank you.
Thank you, Danielle. That was really touching.
Thank you.
What you talked about in terms of collective brilliance is really true. We do make a great team together, and thank you for sharing your story, Danielle, and thank you for joining us at Accelerate.
And thank you for leaning in. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Take care.
Power Hands is an excellent example of next-level success and partnership. In order to be a great partner to sellers, we need to support you all along your journey. We want you to be always supported. To describe how we're making that happen, I'd like to welcome a director from our Partner Support and Solutions team, Aisha Florida.
Thank you, Dharmesh. And hello, everybody. At Amazon, we obsess over building simple, self-service tools and ensuring sellers are always in control of their business. Toward that end, I'd like to take a couple minutes to walk you through our overall support and services for Amazon sellers. This is made up of several functions that work together to take care of your needs. Starting from the top and going clockwise, first, we have education and help content. This includes Seller University, a free learning tool available to all sellers globally that helps sellers learn how to succeed in our store. It features a wide range of tutorials in video, text, and e-learning formats, and also includes personalized learning recommendations just for you. In 2021, sellers will view these tutorials about 16 million times. In addition, we also feature thousands of help and policy pages that will be viewed by sellers over 100 million times this year. Moving to self-service capabilities, this includes a comprehensive suite of applications across web and mobile. These capabilities allow you to perform your day-to-day selling operations, such as managing your listings, your inventory, returns, and so forth. This can be found on Amazon Seller Central. That leads me to seller support, a team that you can connect with if you have a problem. We have thousands of associates ready to help you via phone, email, and chat. Sellers across the globe reached out to us for help about 75 million times in the last year. We also actively monitor other channels like seller forums for additional questions and feedback. Account health support comes next. This team of dedicated specialists is trained to help you understand Amazon's policies. They also help you understand how to improve your account health by addressing any potential policy violations quickly and completely. This team contacts many sellers proactively when their account is at risk of deactivation and provides reactive support when sellers want guidance regarding their account health. Finally, there are strategic account services. This is a paid service available globally to all sellers. It provides sellers access to an Amazon account manager and a team of specialists who are focused on driving growth for them. The account manager supports sellers with selection recommendations, listings, and Prime programs, and also helps optimize for deals and advertising. All of this to help execute a personalized plan to drive growth. We also have several more programs across Amazon to help drive seller growth and remove the obstacles that businesses face, such as Amazon's Black Business Accelerator, which we proudly launched in June of this year. This program is designed to spur growth and advance equity for Black-owned businesses through financial support, education, mentorship, promotion, and a suite of dedicated resources. This program is backed by a $150 million investment and aims to position thousands of Black-owned businesses for success as Amazon sellers over the next 4 years. On the financial side, there's Amazon Lending, which is built on the simple idea that business lending doesn't have to be complicated. We provide business financing solutions through Amazon Lending and third-party partners to eligible small and medium-sized businesses. In these difficult times, where businesses have been severely impacted by COVID-19, we're taking a personalized approach towards addressing your needs for loan repayments. Amazon Black Business Accelerator and Amazon Lending are the latest examples of the many tools and programs born out of your feedback. So, that's support in a nutshell for you. All of this to say, we put a lot of focus on doing all we can to support you, whether you call us, email us, chat with us, or use our self-service tools. And now we are taking it to the next level with 2 exciting announcements. The first announcement I want to share with you is Amazon's A to Z guarantee expansion. Although the program isn't new, the expansion is, and it's significant. We expanded our A to Z guarantee to include a process for resolving property damage and personal claims due to a defective product. Customers can file claims up to $1 million, but more than 80% of claims are for less than $1,000. For claims under $1,000, and for sellers who abide by our policies and hold valid insurance, Amazon will resolve and pay for these claims on your behalf. This program is incredibly important because it gives customers more confidence to purchase products in our store and from all of you. In addition, we use our internal fraud and abuse detection systems and external independent insurance fraud experts to vet and analyze all claims and ensure that only valid claims are referred to you and your insurer. This is one of the many ways we protect you from fraud and abuse. Plus, for valid claims under $1,000, we won't seek reimbursement from you or your insurer, and there's no impact to your seller performance metrics. This saves you time, money, and hassle. Amazon is the first and only company that we are aware of that offers this level of protection for customers. What if you don't have insurance? That's where Amazon's Insurance Accelerator can help. Insurance Accelerator connects you to insurance providers that can offer you policies at competitive rates. So you can focus on growing your business instead of worrying about potential claims. Since we launched Insurance Accelerator, sellers have purchased over 50,000 new policies protecting their businesses and our mutual customers. The bottom line, Amazon's A to Z guarantee expansion helps customers trust the Amazon brand while helping sellers build their brands. Many of the most successful sellers on Amazon use apps to help them grow and manage their business. In fact, over 1 million sellers worldwide take advantage of the many ways apps help organize and simplify the running of their businesses. However, sellers have told us they wish they could find apps more easily that can most help them. And that's why I'm excited about my second announcement, the launch of the Seller Central Partner Network. This is a one-stop shop where sellers can locate over 6,000 third-party apps and services. You can discover software solutions from developers focused on helping all types and sizes of businesses on Amazon, from startups to those looking to expand their already existing storefronts. And while you're at it, be sure to explore the service categories available here, like listings, inventory management, advertising optimization, and accounting. Don't know exactly what you're looking for? No problem. Just browse by category, services, and more. With everything in a single place, the Seller Central Partner Network takes the confusion out of where sellers need to go first. Just starting out on Amazon? Start here first. Find the solutions that meet your business needs in a single storefront. We will continue to launch more features to help you find the apps you need. Be on the lookout for popular and trending and recommended features launching on the homepage next year. All this to help you find the right apps and services and help you build and grow your business. The Seller Central Partner Network is yet another example of how we are accelerating business to the next level together with you. Now, I would like to turn the session over to the head of the team focused on improving the account health experience, Director of Seller Trust and Loyalty at Amazon, Dave Nadell.
Thanks, Aisha. Account health is something we take very seriously, and our goal is to make it easier for you to maintain great account health. When we first started out, our focus was on consolidating account health-related information in a single place. Over the past couple of years, we've worked hard to make sure that every issue or violation that affects your account health is visible on your account health page in Seller Central. We also launched a mobile experience and enhanced the reports we vend through our APIs. We were being transparent, but we wanted to do more. We wanted to make it easier than ever for you to maintain great account health. In listening to seller feedback, we heard what you were looking for: clarity, simplicity, and transparency. To continue improving the account health experience, we set out to create a single score that clearly reflects your account health in an easy-to-understand manner. As a result of your feedback, we created the Account Health Rating, or the AHR. Your AHR represents your account's adherence to our policies on a single, continuous scale with a single score. Currently, we display AHR using a color scale with red, yellow, and green to give you a snapshot of your account health. If your AHR is green, it means you're consistently adhering to our policies. That's awesome, and we appreciate your efforts to deliver great customer experiences. If it's red or yellow, there are one or more outstanding violations on your account that, if addressed, will move your AHR back into the green zone. Color coding is helpful, but again, it didn't go far enough, and we wanted to do more. For example, if you're yellow, you don't know how close you are to green, or to red for that matter. To address that, we'll soon be displaying your AHR as a numeric value, in addition to a color, further increasing visibility into your account health. We talked to some folks who have seen and used the new AHR, and they tell us it's way easier for them to track their account health and understand where they are. Over the past couple months, we've been improving the AHR to make sure it's truly representative of your account health, including your history and performance on Amazon. We want it to act as an indicator that reassures you when you're doing fine or points you in the direction of remedying whatever needs to be addressed. That way, you always know where you stand. We plan to roll out improvements to the AHR gradually over the next few months, and we'll keep you in the loop every step of the way via the account health page, email, and our account health support team. Speaking of the account health support team, in addition to what we've been doing on the account health page, we've invested in supporting and coaching sellers to help them maintain great account health and keep up with changes to our policies. In 2018, we created the account health support team. We realized that maintaining great account health is important and can sometimes be difficult. We wanted to make sure that in the most urgent situations, you were able to talk to someone in real time, on the phone, who could help. It started out as a way for us to proactively give sellers a heads up that their account was at risk of deactivation, and then help them appeal any outstanding issues. Since then, the team has expanded to helping sellers address all kinds of account health-related concerns. We've also started calling sellers ahead of new policy launches and when they receive a warning for certain types of policy violations. In 2021 alone, we've helped over 200,000 sellers manage and improve their account health. And we know that when we have a chance to partner with sellers, it truly works. Sellers who work with us have an AHR score that's 81% higher on average than those who don't. And today, we're excited to take our commitment to helping you maintain strong account health further with 2 new features. First, in 2022, we will provide 100% of professional sellers with access to the account health support team on demand. We want to give you the ability to contact us anytime you need, immediately, with a phone call, 7 days a week. Second, we're launching a brand new program we're calling Account Health Assurance. In designing Account Health Assurance, we asked ourselves, how can we give sellers greater peace of mind and confidence that their account would not be deactivated? Account Health Assurance connects dedicated specialists with high-performing sellers to improve and maintain great account health on an ongoing basis. If there's an issue that affects your account health, we'll reach out to you first and work with you to address the issue and avoid account deactivation altogether. That way, you can maintain business continuity and get personalized support in navigating complex account health issues when you need it the most. We'll start notifying sellers who are eligible for account health assurance in the next couple of weeks. And we'll continue to enroll more people as we grow this program in 2022. Our goal is simple. We want you to maintain great account health, and we want to partner with you to help ensure it stays that way. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. To recap today's session so far, we've now seen firsthand, through both seller success stories and new product launches, what next level means when it comes to scaling and growing your business, and the support we provide to help you reach it. We heard directly from sellers about how that partnership is paying off. We heard powerful growth stories from the leaders of both Gladiator Lacrosse and Power Hands. You have seen how we are reaching for and achieving next level success together. The spirit of partnership and constant innovation that you've seen is part of what makes us Amazon. These are company traits that come from the top. And now we have a chance to hear about them directly from the top. This past July, for the first time in our company's history, we welcomed a new CEO of Amazon. Although he's new in that position, he is definitely not new to the company. Andy Jassy has spent more than 2 decades with Amazon, and now it is my pleasure to welcome President and CEO of Amazon, Andy Jassy. Andy, thanks so much for joining us here at the Amazon Accelerate Conference for our selling community.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. You've been with Amazon almost from the very beginning of the company. That said, I'm sure there are many of our sellers here who don't know that much about you. Can you tell us a bit about yourself, how you got to Amazon, and about your path within the company?
Sure. Well, I've been in Amazon for 24 and a half years, but I'm originally from New York, from the East Coast. I went to school on the East Coast. I spent the first part of my professional life on the East Coast. I thought when I got out of college I wanted to be a sportscaster. I know that's a little hard to believe now. And that's what I spent the first chunk of my time when I got out of school trying to do. And I eventually decided that I wanted to be involved in business. And I worked at a company that marketed via direct marketing channels continuity programs. It was a company called MBI. They marketed everything under other names like Danbury Mint or Postal Commemorative Society. But it was a great general management experience, and I did that for a few years. And I started some of my own businesses before deciding to go back to graduate school. And I took my last final exam the first Friday of May in 1997, and I started at Amazon 2 days later. And so, I didn't know what I was going to do at Amazon. I didn't know what my title was going to be. I didn't know what team I was going to be on. But it was incredibly important to Amazon that I get there then. So I took that last final in early May. I started 2 days later, and I joined this 8-person marketing team at the time where we just took all the areas of marketing and split it up between us. They were all way too big for each of us, but that's what you did when the company is that small. It was when I joined in 1986, Amazon was a $15 million revenue run rate business on its way to $150 million in 1997. And so I started off working on a combination of competitive intelligence, which was really trying to help everyone be aware of what was happening on the internet at that time, and customer retention, because I had that direct response background. Then I did that for a couple months, and I was taken off that with a number of my peers to work on this special project to explore what other categories Amazon should get into before the brand cemented as a books-only brand. And so I looked at music, and a peer looked at video, someone else looked at software. It was really like writing a business school case and evaluating whether it made sense to get into that space. And we thought it made sense to get into all of those categories, that our customers would buy those products from us, and that we had a differentiated approach to it. And so we presented that plan. Once it was approved, I went back and led our customer retention marketing team for a little bit of time. And then I went back to music, and I ran product management, was the general manager for the music business for a while. Then I went back to marketing and co-led our marketing team for a little bit of time. And then I did this really unusual job after that, where I worked as Jeff Bezos' what we used to call his executive shadow. It was like a chief of staff role, where we spent all our time together and debriefed and divided and conquered how to follow up what we heard was important. And that was an incredible experience for me. For him, it was a way to get a little bit more bandwidth to be able to drive across the company. But for me, it was just a great opportunity to see so many other areas of the company I didn't see when I was running functional areas. And I really left that role in the fall of 2003 to go explore this idea that we might be able to build an infrastructure technology platform that other developers and companies could build their technology applications on top of. And that's what we started looking into, and eventually became AWS. And I largely spent my time on that from 2003 until the beginning, or middle of this year when I started in the Amazon CEO job.
Wow, that's quite a history. And it's been about 3 months since you took over from Jeff Bezos as CEO of Amazon. And on top of taking over as CEO for one of the largest companies in the world, you also did so in the middle of an unprecedented pandemic, which is certainly no small feat. It'd be great if you could share what that experience has been like over the last few months, kind of from your perspective.
Yeah, well, as I said earlier, I've been at the company 24 and a half years, and I feel very lucky to have been part of this adventure during this time. And I also feel lucky that I'm starting this job when Amazon's doing all right. I mean, like everybody, we've had our ups and downs, but the business is doing pretty well. We have a retail business that's a few $100 billion of revenue. It's in a $25 trillion worldwide retail market segment, so we all have a lot of room together to grow. We're still only about 1% of the worldwide retail market segment, but a reasonable sized business. We have a cloud computing business in AWS. It's a $60 billion revenue run rate business that's growing 37% year over year, where most of the global IT spend still is on premises, so a good opportunity there. And we have growing entertainment and devices with Alexa and advertising businesses. So those are the ones we have, businesses today, but we also have, as you know, a number of altogether new businesses that none of us know whether they'll be successful and how successful they'll be, but are interesting. We're building a low Earth orbital satellite business that we call Kuiper, that we're investing $10 billion into to provide better connectivity to a lot of places that don't have real connectivity. We're building a autonomous vehicle ride-hailing service in Zoox, and you can look at what we're doing in areas like telemedicine with Amazon Care. So we have a lot going on, and our mission and our strategy has really been largely the same over the last 24 and a half years. Everyone says, well, what's different strategically? We've been very consistent this way, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to make life better and easier for customers, and relentlessly invent to do so. And it may have been the case that we started off doing that only for books, but over time we've expanded the number of customer types that we're trying to make life better and easier. But that's really been our strategy. And I think the pandemic has been, a layer of stress and complexity, not just for every person we all know in the world and every company, but for us too. And I think whatever role we believed we played in the world before the pandemic, we realized we were going to assume a more important role once everything was shut down and people were kind of sequestered at home. And so, in our retail business, people were really relying on us to get PPE and food and all kinds of items they needed and entertainment objects to keep they and their kids sane and equipment to kind of move from being in the office to being at home. And, in the AWS business, companies and governments overnight had to move from being in the office where they were well set up to having to serve their customers technically from home and remotely, and where we spent a lot of time trying to provide the right business continuity. Now, if you think about what's happened in the pandemic, and there's been different waves to the pandemic as well, it's created all sorts of challenges, and some of that relates to just the demand. As it relates to Amazon, we grew about 2 to 3 years worth in 18 months, and nobody was predicting that, and nobody was planning for that. And what it means is things like you have a fulfillment center network that we've built over 25 years that we've effectively had to double in the last 18 months. I mean, we've put up about 250 new facilities during the pandemic alone, which is really difficult and really hard. And, we also are operating in a labor market that's unprecedented. I don't think any of us have seen anything like this in 25 years. And just trying to have enough people who can work safely and productively to be able to serve customers has been a real challenge. And in the earliest days of the pandemic, when everything was closed and as we saw this giant spike in demand, we were much more constrained in our fulfillment centers, which I know impacted all of you, all our sellers, and that's gotten better over time, but we're not fully unconstrained yet. We're working really hard at that, and it creates other challenges when you don't have enough people. You don't have enough people to receive everything in all the fulfillment centers. You don't often have the ability to place the inventory exactly where you want. We're always trying to optimize the inventory to be placed close to customers for the shortest possible fulfillment time. And so all of those have been real strains. And I think that we have worked incredibly hard, with our community and in general to unconstrain our fulfillment centers. And we're in a much better spot than we were before. We're not where we want to be yet, and we're working really hard to not just get to our pre-pandemic levels, but to improve them like we were doing every year before. So it's been an extra challenge. I'm really proud of both what the company has done, but also as a community, what we've all done together to help customers in what's been really the most unprecedented situation in most of our lifetimes that we've never encountered, and hopefully we won't have to encounter again.
Yeah, no, it's an impressive set of change across a lot of different areas. Maybe let's rewind back in time. You were at Amazon. We were a retail-only business. And can you tell us a little bit more about how when Amazon decided to start a third-party seller business and how that unfolded and some of the debates that happened?
Yeah, well, it was really actually, in retrospect, it seems like a sweet story, a sweet old story. But at the time, it was really a hard decision at the company. And as you said, we were an owned inventory retail business only. So we bought all the products from distributors and manufacturers and publishers in the case of books, and then shipped it from our fulfillment centers. And what we started to see in the late 90s was that you saw some of these offerings like half.com and eBay where third-party sellers were serving customers and doing well, and customers liked it. And we had a lot of debate inside the company about whether we should do it. And again, in retrospect, it seems so obvious that we should do it. But at the time, there was a lot of debate, both because we just had a hard time believing that others were going to take care of customers as carefully as we were. And that has always been at the center of everything Amazon does, which is the customer experience. And then we build our strategies and tactics backwards from there. And also, when you build a culture around one type of business model, it's often really hard to move that culture. It's really hard to do things that seem like they may cannibalize your business. And we had a lot of extended debate about this. It was very animated. It lasted over several months. And ultimately, we decided to pursue the third-party business in a marketplace because of two things, really. First, we knew customers wanted it. They wanted broader selection. They wanted lower prices, and having a community of sellers was going to provide that in a better way than we could do on our own. And then second, it was going to happen. Whether we wanted it to happen or not, it was going to happen. And we have this expression we use internally sometimes that you can't fight gravity. And that's because even if it seems cannibalistic to your business, or you wished it wasn't happening as fast, or you didn't want it to happen, you can howl at the wind, but in this day and age, if it's better for customers, it is going to happen. And you're much better off trying to embrace that and help shape it than you are denying it and chasing it. And so we went and pursued the marketplace business. And you would think that that was the end of the story, but it wasn't. It turned out that we didn't get it right for several years. We tried building an auction offering initially that looked like eBay's. And Me Too offerings rarely succeed in the internet, and so that didn't really work very well. And then we had this idea that we thought was really brilliant and was going to work, called Z-Shops. And what it really was a way to sell third-party sellers' products in this separate area of the store called Z-Shops. But what we found was having a cul-de-sac that wasn't in the main flow of where all the traffic was, and where all the traffic is on the retail detail pages. Nobody went there. And so it wasn't until we found what's now blindingly obvious, but it took us a couple of years to figure out, putting our third-party sellers' offerings right on the same detail pages as our owned inventory. It wasn't until we got that model, which is our current marketplace model, that we really started to have success for third-party sellers. And it's been great, I think, for our customers. It's been great for sellers, and it's been good for Amazon, too.
Oh, absolutely. Selling on Amazon has certainly got a fascinating origin story. So as you look back at that time and where this all started with the seller business, has the seller business lived up to the hopes Amazon and you and others had almost 20 years ago?
Yeah, it's exceeded it. I mean, I think almost anything successful at Amazon, probably true at a lot of companies, anything that's been very successful has always exceeded expectations. Most people, ourselves included, don't have the audacity to predict how large some of these things can get over time. But it's, it's today when a consumer buys a product, the odds are better than not that it's going to be a third-party seller's product. We have nearly 2 million small and medium-sized businesses that are selling in our marketplace today. I think when we built the marketplace and built it in the fashion that we did, and showed the community can be successful this way over a long period of time in this model, and this was different than the auction model, obviously, I think it spurred a number of other large retailers and marketplaces being born, which is good for sellers too. And I think that overall it's just been a real win for everybody. I think it's been a way for small and medium-sized sellers, particularly to be able to reach a much broader group of people and build a larger business. And it's been great for consumers to have that choice of selection and lower prices, and it's been good for us too. And so it's rare that you find those win-win-win types of relationships, and it's why I think it's been so successful, and it's unusual in business.
Yeah. It is an interesting business model. And is there anything else you'd talk about why that's been so successful from your perspective?
I think that a lot of it has to do with the way that we have collectively continued to iterate together and communicate with one another and make improvements. And, I think almost anything that you ever launch that ends up being successful, you don't launch it and it's not super successful out the door. Look at the marketplace story we were just talking about. And even when you find a formula or you find a business model or a customer experience that's successful, that's got some initial success, but it's not guaranteed to continue to grow and to satisfy customers' needs and interests. Because one of the things you find is when you have something that customers start to gravitate toward, they have lots and lots of things they want you to improve. I mean, you know this. We all have 3 to 5 year roadmaps of items that customers want us to keep working on. And so I think it was no different here with our marketplace, where we started with an offering, and then we built tools to make it much easier to list selection, and we built tools to make it easier for you to do analytics, and we added products. We added things like Fulfillment by Amazon, so that our sellers didn't have to do the fulfillment if they didn't want to, and leverage the large fulfillment network that we've built. And we added things like Prime and the ability to be Prime eligible so that customers can get your products faster. And we added things like Prime Day, which is kind of like a brand new holiday. It's almost like having two holidays during the year. So I think that the key has been that collectively we've worked together to keep iterating and evolving what's available in the, not just for sellers, but also for our joint customers. And I think that takes a certain level of commitment and communication and iterating together and experimenting. And I think all the best relationships and communities, and it's no different here, are ones where we're really in it together long term. And we realize that we may not have everything right. And by the way, we don't get everything right here or anywhere, frankly, in our Amazon business. And that's okay, because the world's changing fast. As long as we know about the things we have to work on together and we keep working on them together, we can solve those customer problems.
No, I totally agree. As I know you're aware, there are bills in the U.S. House and Senate that could change the relationship between Amazon and sellers, this beautiful partnership that you've been talking about, and the seamless experience that we currently create for customers together. How do you think sellers should think about what's happening in Washington?
Well, I would pay attention to it. I'd be a little concerned, and I would pay attention to it. And, I think that there's been a first round of proposed bills that I don't think are thought all the way through, pretty broad. And I think you have to decide, if you're Congress and lawmakers and you're going to think about regulating larger companies or addressing larger companies in some fashion, you just have to think about what you're trying to accomplish. In the market segment of retail, we look at some of this and wonder what the goal really is, because typically speaking, companies are considered to have monopolistic characteristics if they have such unfettered power that they can adjust pricing however they want, and they don't have any responsibility because there are no other choices. In the case of retail, it is a hyper-competitive market segment with a lot of very large and successful players. It's part of why we only represent about 1% of the worldwide market segment in retail. We don't have the ability to take our consumer prices up. It's why you see us continually trying to help take prices down for customers. And so I don't think that you have a situation in the retail market segment where it's not competitive. I mean, you look at companies like Walmart and Target and Kroger's and some of the newer companies, the Etsy's and the Wayfair. It's very, very competitive. And then I think you got to think about what you want to accomplish with different ideas. Some of the more extreme ideas are trying to force Amazon to have to divest its marketplace. And I think you just have to be careful when you think about an idea like that you don't have very serious unintended consequences, which I think that would have. I mean, we were talking about earlier, there's nearly 2 million small and medium-sized businesses that sell on Amazon's marketplace. And the reality is that it's not hard to have a website at this point. I mean, most sellers have a website. It's not hard or that expensive to have an e-commerce website. What really has made a big difference for our sellers has been having access to the hundreds of millions of Amazon customers and all the traffic that we're able to create because of that community. And so you don't want a situation where you meaningfully hurt small and medium-sized businesses like I think a bill like that would. And I think it would also hurt consumers who, there's a reason why consumers are choosing to use the marketplace. They love the selection that we all provide together and the low prices that we provide together. So, I think, look, my guess is that this will go through a lot of iteration and a lot of thinking, but you just have to be careful. We all have to be careful in whatever we may consider doing, that we don't have really negative unintended consequences for our small and medium-sized businesses and consumers. And I think you should be concerned about that too.
Thank you, Andy. Earlier this week, we released our 2021 Small Business Empowerment Report, which speaks to some of these ways that small businesses have been able to succeed and thrive through the store. And when you reviewed that report, I'm curious if there was anything that jumped out to you.
Well, the growth is pretty amazing, and you can look at it lots of different ways. But if we have 15% more sellers year over year who are selling at least $1 million in the marketplace. We have 440,000 brands now in the brand registry, which is really the foundation for building your brand in our marketplace and in Amazon. 70,000 new incremental FBA users in the last year, which is pretty remarkable. 20,000 new U.S. sellers who are selling international. So just the growth is pretty amazing. And, we know that growth doesn't come automatically. It's a lot of hard work and a lot of collaboration, working together between us and the community, and us collectively as a community. And we gotta, we have to collectively as a community, we have to earn that trust with consumers every day, every week, every month, every year, and particularly in a pandemic where we have all the challenges we were talking about earlier. Really building and growing that trust and communicating is important. I'm also excited. It was mentioned in the report that you referenced, just the Black Business Accelerator too, and we've committed $150 million to provide capital and mentoring and help for Black-owned businesses and sellers who are selling in the marketplace. And I think that I'm excited about the program. I'm excited about the early progress we have, and I think that has a lot of potential too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm glad you mentioned the Black-owned Business Accelerator, or BBA as we often call it. It's something we're excited about. It's still early days, and we're learning a lot. And actually at Accelerate, we're announcing 2 new aspects of that program. BBA Connect, which will provide this 12-month mentorship for participants from small business thought leaders, as well as a new BBA advisory council that's made up of business luminaries and other key organizations that can help us as we shape the strategic direction of that program. It's still early days, but I'm really excited about that too.
Yeah, me too.
Well, let me shift back to AWS, which you really built from scratch to what it is today. And, we have many small businesses that are also just getting started, and I'm curious if there's any advice you'd share with sellers as they're looking to build their business and really reach the next level together with Amazon.
Well, I think there are a few things that I would recommend. I think that any significant business, no matter what size it is, starts with the customer experience. And so it seems fairly obvious, but I'm also struck how often, as a consumer of a lot of businesses, as all of us are, I'm struck how often companies sometimes forget that. There's a lot of things to distract you, but at the end of the day, if you don't have a great customer experience, if you don't provide a high quality product, if you don't explain it the right way, if you don't deliver it on time, if the quality when they get it isn't good, if you don't help people with returns when the product isn't right or what they thought, over time you won't really have a business. So I think just in general, always having customer experience at the center of what you're doing and having metrics to evaluate how you're doing with the customer experience, and reprioritizing everything if you don't like the customer experience, if people aren't happy with it, I think is the first thing I would say. I think the second thing is we all operate in all of these businesses in very dynamic environments. Now, hopefully it won't be as dynamic as the pandemic has been the last couple of years forever. But even, if you take out the pandemic, these are fast-changing areas where the technology changes fast and the options change fast and consumers' interests change and spending habits change. I mean, there are all kinds of things that change all the time. And so really being aware of what's changing and not being too fixed in what you've done in the past. Sometimes one of the hardest things for businesses, for all of us, is you've been doing things a certain way and it's been working fantastically. And then the environment changes and you don't change with it fast enough. You kind of hold to what you were doing before because it wasn't broke. And I think just having good ways to be able to observe when things are changing such that you need to evolve your customer experience is really important. So being adaptable and flexible. I think then figuring out what are the things that are really working and what are the trends that look like they have some sustainability to them, and then doubling down on those things that work. And I think this is another thing too, I think, that happens in businesses and especially in smaller businesses, it can be really damaging, which is you can see the things that aren't working, and you can spend all your time, all your focus, and all your energy on the things that aren't working, and miss out on the opportunity on the things that are working. And so, when you're building a business, if you've got something that's really working, you want to double and triple down on it. That's the way you can really build a much larger business, and it will give you'll have more time to go figure out the areas that you're not doing well that you want to focus on today or in the future. I think the last thing I would say is, as much as you can, trying to be long-term oriented is very helpful. And it's hard because we all have, we all have constraints and we all have pressures, and sometimes there's funding issues, and sometimes you're under pressure to meet results in a quarter, whether it's a board or if you're a public company. But the reality is that if you're not always thinking about what's best for customers over a long period of time, and you instead optimize for the short term, you may have a short-term bump, but you won't build the long-term sustainable business that we're all working really hard to try and build. And so we try to think about it at Amazon as being strategically patient and tactically impatient, which means that we have a set of goals that we're working really hard to get done every month, every quarter, every year. And we're going to work hard at those, but we're really invested over a long period of time in providing the right customer experience. And we will always choose what we think is right for customers over the long term, even if it means that there'll be impact to us in the short term. And you can see that today with how we're trying to manage our way through the pandemic together, which is, we have a lot of costs that we're taking on because of some of the inefficiencies in our fulfillment center network as we are scaling out the number of fulfillment centers and trying to add as many people as we need. But we're gonna keep optimizing for customers because we're in this for the long term and in it for customers for the long term. And as much as you can be long-term oriented as well, you'll have a better chance of building a lasting business.
No, that's awesome. That long-term focus is one of the things I've really learned and appreciated here at Amazon. I'm being told that we have time for just one more question, and so are there any last messages that you want to share with our seller community while you're here today?
I would say, the first thing I would say is thank you. Thank you for being partners. Thank you for building the community together. I think what we've done over the last number of years, 20 years, 22 years, whatever it's been, it's just remarkable. I don't think we've seen anything like it before, and we're still in the early days of what's possible. And so thank you for the partnership. I hope it's obvious in general and also over the last couple of days, but we care a lot about sellers and about our community. It matters a lot to the team. It matters a lot to me. It matters a lot to our leadership team. We talk a lot about it together. And we don't always get everything right, and we haven't gotten everything right. But when we don't, it's not for lack of focus. We care a lot about you and the community we're building. And as long as we think about it together and we collaborate and we communicate and we try to build that over a long period of time, I'm very confident we'll continue to iterate and improve for customers. And that's got to be the focus for all of us, is to make sure we do right by customers. So thank you for the partnership, and we're excited about continuing to work together over a long period of time.
All right. Well, thank you, Andy. This has been a great conversation and a great start to the day. We really appreciate you joining us. It's now time, once again, for breakout sessions, your opportunity to hear directly from Amazon product experts and get answers to your questions, plus more opportunities to network in our huddles. I'll meet you back here later today for a final wrap-up. Thanks again, and enjoy the rest of your day.